Have you ever sat in a boardroom, a newsroom, or even a family discussion and felt the quiet weight of invisibility? Like you're present but somehow not allowed to rise, not quite taken seriously, not fully allowed to lead. There's a name for that invisible wall. It's not made of brick or steel, it's made of perception, prejudice, and power. It's called the glass ceiling. And today on the personal lens, we are going to look up and try to break through. Welcome to the personal lens where we explore the political through the personal. I'm your host, and in today's episode, we are not just identifying but smashing the glass ceiling. You've seen it, you felt it. That moment in the meeting where your idea is ignored until a man repeats it. That job interview where they ask you if you plan to have kids. That promotion that always somehow goes to someone else, someone taller, someone louder, usually a male. The glass ceiling, it's silent, it's invisible, and yet it cuts like a knife. This isn't just a workplace issue. This is about whose ambition is rewarded and whose is punished, whose voice is amplified and whose is dismissed, who gets to lead and who gets told to wait, to smile more, to tone it down. It's not made of glass, it's made of centuries of patriarchy, caste, capitalism, and control. And it's everywhere in boardrooms, in politics, in courts, on film sets, even in your own home. We'll uncover the layers, gender bias, motherhood penalties, caste intersections, and the myth of merit. We'll talk power, economics, stigma, silence, and we'll meet the women who crack the ceiling and the ones still bleeding from it. So, what is the glass ceiling? The term glass ceiling was first coined in 1978 by Marilyn Loden during a panel discussion. She was asked to talk about how women held themselves back in the workplace. But instead of blaming women, she pointed to something else, a subtle, invisible barrier that kept capable women from advancing to leadership roles. A transparent but impenetrable ceiling. You can see the top, you can see the leadership roles, but no matter how hard you try, you're not allowed to break through. And that is the metaphor you've been living with for decades. Historical context, a long climb up. Let's rewind a bit. In most traditional societies, India included, women were historically excluded from property rights, formal education, inheritance, and positions of power. The public sphere belonged to men, the private sphere, home, kitchen, caregiving was left to women. Even when women entered the workforce en masse, especially during world wars or economic crisis, they were largely seen as temporary workers or meant for pink collar jobs, like nurses, secretaries, teachers. Valuable roles, but rarely leadership ones. Post independence India did see women like Indira Gandhi rise to political power, but such instances were treated as exceptions, not as rules. In corporate India, women remained dramatically underrepresented in senior roles even into the 21st century. Why? Because talent alone has never been enough. The many layers of the ceiling. Let's break it down. The glass ceiling is not just about gender bias, it's a multi layered, complex web. Here's what it's made of: stereotypes. Leadership is often subconsciously coded as masculine. Assertive men are seen as confident. Assertive women, they're often called bossy, aggressive, or worse. Networking gaps. Decisions often happen in informal spaces, golf courses, whiskey rooms, late night dinners. Women, especially married women or mothers, are excluded from these spaces. Unequal workload at home. Studies show Indian women spend nearly 10 times more hours on unpaid domestic work than men. So while a male colleague can stay late or travel for work, women juggle two full-time jobs, only one of which pays. The motherhood penalty. The moment a woman becomes a mother, she's seen as less committed, less competent. Meanwhile, fathers often get a daddy bonus. They are perceived as more stable and responsible after becoming fathers. Now, sexual harassment and hostile work environments. From subtle innuendos to explicit threats, workplaces often become sites of silent trauma. And the fear of speaking up, of being blamed, transferred, or silenced creates another ceiling. Lack of role models. If you never see someone who looks like you in leadership, it's hard to imagine yourself there. This is even more severe for Dalit, Adivasi, queer, or disabled women. The Indian reality. Let's look at India now. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2024, female labor force participation has declined drastically in the past decade. In parliament, they make up just about 15%. And in rural panchayats, although reservation policies exist, their implementation in Panchayati Raj elections often faces obstacles. Problems like proxy representation, symbolic inclusion, and frequent seat rotation can weaken genuine female participation in decision making, allowing male elites to continue controlling local governance. In Assam, while we see powerful grassroots women leaders, they rarely get the platform recognition or funding that male leaders receive. Tribal women, tea garden workers, and domestic workers face additional barriers of caste, class, and ethnicity. The glass ceiling in India isn't just thick, it's reinforced by patriarchy, casteism, capitalism, and colonial hangovers. The personal is political. So let's bring it back to the personal. Have you ever watched a man get credit for an idea you suggested just minutes earlier? Have you laughed off a sexist joke in the office because you didn't want to be seen as difficult? Have you been told you are too ambitious, not a team player, or not leadership material while watching less qualified men get promoted? That's the glass ceiling in action, and the emotional toll it takes is immense. Many women internalize failure, burnout, or self select out of leadership. Not because they aren't capable, but because they are fighting a system designed to doubt them. Intersectionality. Not all ceilings are the same. A crucial thing to understand: not all women experience the glass ceiling in the same way. Coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, the term intersectionality reminds us that race, caste, religion, sexuality, and class deeply shape how women experience workplace bias. A Brahmin woman and a Dalit woman might both face gender discrimination, but only one of them is likely to face caste based exclusion, social stigma, and systemic violence. Similarly, queer women or trans women face not only gender bias but questions about legitimacy, identity, and even physical safety at the workplace. So, yes, there is a glass ceiling, but for many women, there are glass walls, locked doors, and sometimes no ladder at all. The cracks in the ceiling, some success stories. So, here's the good news: ceilings do crack. Kiran Majumdar Shaw, once rejected by banks for being a woman, built Biocon into a global pharmaceutical giant. Gagandeep Kang, India's top virologist, broke barriers in a male-dominated scientific community. Ritu Karidhal, a scientist from ISRO, played a key role in the Mars Orbiter mission and Chandrayaan missions. In Assam, leaders like Birubala Rabha campaigned fearlessly against witch hunting in rural communities, challenging patriarchy and superstition with sheer grit. These women and countless others have broken ceilings, but they also carry scars. Success doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It often means success despite it. Beyond representation, the real change. Breaking the glass ceiling isn't just about putting women at the top, it's about changing the structure that made the ceiling necessary. Here's what needs to happen. Policy support, paid maternity and paternity leave, flexible hours, anti-harassment laws with teeth, and gender audits at workplaces. Mentorship and sponsorship. Women need advocates in power who actively sponsor their growth, not just give advice. Cultural shift. Stop treating caregiving as a woman's job. Redefine leadership as inclusive, empathetic, and collaborative, not just aggressive and competitive. Media representation. Show powerful, flawed, diverse women, not just superheroes or victims. Show leaders in saris, hijabs, jeans, or uniforms on their own terms. Grassroots support. Empower women in panchayats, self-help groups, unions. Leadership isn't only in boardrooms, it begins in classrooms, kitchen, and village courtyards. But remember, sometimes the glass ceiling isn't just above us, sometimes it's inside us. It's the voice that says, "You are not ready." It's the fear that says, "What if they think I'm too much?" It's the exhaustion that whispers, "Maybe I should just quit." But that voice, it's not you. It's the system speaking through you. Break that voice, break that ceiling. Because the world doesn't just need women in power, it needs power to be reimagined by women. Thank you so much for listening to The Personal Lens. If this episode moved you, made you think, or made you angry, good. Let's keep talking, keep questioning, and keep smashing. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and do send us your stories and reflections at the email provided at the description. And until next time, keep looking through the personal lens.